Hey guys, welcome to day 3 of Head Start. So I know today we will be going through some tours in the afternoon. So if you're in my period 1 and 2 class, I will talk to you on Zoom first. And if you're on my period 3, 4, or 5 class, we don't actually have a Zoom invite class, but I'm looking forward to possibly seeing you at Dennis O'Connor where we can meet face to face on a tour. Okay, so what I wanted to give you a little video about was because yesterday I taught a little YouTube video on how to study for math/science classes. I wanted to go through how to study for a language-based course. Or better yet, let's say literacy type. Okay, now the reason why I have it in quotation marks is because that's pretty much our subjects that deal with English, French, religion, and those types of subjects where the emphasis is a little bit more on like the reading and writing components, okay? So again, this is going to be different from how we study math. And the reason why it's going to be different is because we might actually be organizing our thoughts in a different way, okay? So some things that might actually be helpful can be using cue cards. Okay, so I talked a little bit about this in Tuesday's Zoom call. So cue cards are really useful because on one side, right, you might have the 10 Commandments. And on the other side, you might have them listed. Okay, you can also use graphic organizers. Okay, so for example, when you're making an essay outline, right, you might start with your brainstorming. After you do your brainstorming, you might move into your big ideas. Okay, so for instance, if you're trying to justify why uniforms are a good idea for high schools, you might think about the fact that you don't need to think about what you got to wear in the morning. You know what outfit is already laid out for you. You might think about the money that you can save because, you know, you're not trying to match all of your outfits. And the third reason could be, I like how uniforms create a uniform display of everybody so we all look the same, but we can also dress it up to still show aspects of our individuality, right? So for instance, you know, having the choice between, for the girls, a kilt and pants, or even for the guys, just looking at, you know, a long sleeve versus like a short sleeve shirt, depending on what month we're in and that kind of stuff, okay? So in that, you'll make your big ideas. You might have your topic sentences. You'll have your proofs or your justification. And then you'll explain, okay? So the draft that comes before the actual writing of the essay, okay? In terms of other ways that I can study, you might thinking of making notes. So you can use journals, you can use survival guides, you can use OneNote. So especially if you want to share the document with peers, okay? You might also consider of course, rereading your notes. To help add to any pre-existing notes that you may have. Okay. Sometimes making a Kahoot. I'm sure you guys have some experience with Kahoots. Or you can quiz yourself. Right? So you can even just test yourself, ask yourself certain questions to see, what you recall. You can do this in an interview style. So you might have your instructor / interviewer, and then asking questions to the responder. Okay? Now, any of these ways definitely do work to help support your language-based or literacy-type courses, okay? So just kind of making notes, rereading them. I mentioned yesterday you can make voice notes / videos of yourself, okay? And at least in that way, you can kind of do that before you go to bed. You can make a recording of the things that you learned that day. And then 2 weeks down the line, when you do have your test, you can actually play back these voice notes of yourself and you can kind of see what you recall. Okay? So these are just some suggestions you can take with you. If you have any questions in regards to, studying for any literacy type courses, feel free to ask me. I didn't really touch on French because I'm not a French teacher. However, any of these tactics do also work in a language-based course. Okay? Thanks so much for tuning in and looking forward to seeing you some time on Wednesday afternoon. All right? Take care.